E-ink phones are slowly emerging on the market, and the idea of having a minimalistic phone and only using it when you absolutely need to is what is driving up its popularity. This is George from TechLunar.com, and in this video I'm going to have a look at the Bigme HiBreak Pro. Let's have a look at more details. Now, before we get started, we have to talk about what is an e-ink phone, because this is not a type of the phone that you see on the market, but rather you will see an iPhone or Samsung Galaxy or these kind of phones, which are the mainstream, right? But for an e-ink phone, everything lays down on the screen. It's not the typical screen that you normally expect, an LED screen. It's combining the technology of an e-reader tablet, like those Amazon Kindle e-readers that look like a paper while you're reading them. So it feels like reading a book instead of looking at an LED screen, combining it with a mobile phone. So basically you can call, text, read the news, read a book, of course, obviously, but not really when it comes to watching videos or doing social media stuff or playing games, because the whole purpose of an e-ink phone is to provide you with a minimalistic experience of using a mobile phone. And this is great for improving your productivity and only using your phone when you need it. And although there are several options out there, Bigme HiBreak is probably one of the mainstream right now going on. And they do provide you with a lot of features, including a camera, especially the HiBreak Pro, the one that we have right now, provides you with a 20 megapixel camera, octa-core processor, and 8 gigabytes of RAM, which allows you to do more than just reading books on your phone. And of course, with a higher frequency rate at around 21 frames per second, it makes the experience that you're using a real phone closer than its predecessor, the HiBreak Color. And we have done a video of that. It's down in the description or on the card on the right. And that being said, let's move on and talk about the design. At the first glance, the design feels pretty good on the hand. I mean, it's made out of plastic, and the good thing about it is that if the phone drops, the screen is not going to crack, just like typical screens made out of a glass, but rather you most likely going to get some scratches here and there. On the side, you have a very smooth bevel, and the back, it feels pretty much similar as the front. However, one thing I noticed is that if you have oily fingers, it may leave some fingerprints on the top. On the other hand, it's very easy to wipe them out. So if you have a cloth, then you can easily get rid of them. At the bottom, you have a dual SIM entry. Yes, you heard it right. You can enter 2 SIMs. You have an audio speaker, and of course, you have a USB-C charger, providing an 18 voltage of fast charge. On the right side, it contains the volume rockers, volume down, volume up, and of course, the on and off button. On the other side, you have other 2 buttons which you can customize, so you can change the way they behave through going to the settings. On the top, it has an LED connector, just like you find them on a TV remote. And very important is that on the top and bottom, it has a microphone. So that means that it operates with a dual microphones, which provides a higher quality of communication. To test to see how good the microphones on the phone are, here's a sample of me simulating talking to somebody on a video call. Now, of course, there's nobody on the other side of the screen, but you basically get the point. Now, similarly, if I'm talking to someone on the phone, and as you can see, here only one microphone is mostly exposed to my voice, but the other one is on top of the ear. So this kind of tries to balance the audio. And another test is to take the phone in the pocket and just simulate, just to see how my voice sounds if the phone is relatively further from the source. And yeah, I think this is a perfect example for you to make your own judgment. The most important distinctive feature that separates the HiBreak Pro compared to mainstream phones in the market is the screen. Now, the way the screen is built is through a technology called e-ink, which is basically just a different type of screen. It's not about whether it's better or worse than a typical LED screen, it's just that it works in a different way and is optimized specifically for users in the outdoors and showing the content that you want to see in a more natural way. And on top of that, another advantage that an e-ink has is that it doesn't provide strain on your eyes because of the nature that it works, because an LED or LCD screens will have a backlight which emits the blue light, which causes, well, as you know it, strain on your eyes. we can't go away without talking about the e-ink sensor. And the way this screen works is by refreshing the content. So you have to actually tell HiBreak how often you want to refresh the content. You can customize it specifically by changing the refresh mode, and you can set it to extreme or fast, rigid, or H260. Now, personally, I set it to either fast or extreme because I want the refresh rate to be as high as possible. But keep this in mind that the higher the refresh rate, the more the battery it consumes. And I try to keep the auto clean to on. Auto clean is the technology that cleans the screen, make sure that the screen is completely cleaned before drawing the other frame. It can be a little bit slower, so that option is not very suitable when you're watching a video or you're playing a video game. Yes, you heard me right, you can actually play games. And this is thanks to the fact that HiBreak provides you with a fully working version of the Android 14, which means that Google Play Store works and you can download your favorite apps, including social media. Further other customization options you have is video, comic. So if you're reading a book, that you might prefer that, or if you're watching a video which requires a faster frequency rate, then that would be the option to choose. But other than that, feel free to play around in order to find your favorite customizations. In this video, I've got in my hands the Bigme HiBreak, which is an e-reader smartphone. Let's have a look at more details. Now, one thing to pay attention is that if you change apps, frequency may change. So you may need to swipe from the top right again, go to e-ink sensor while having the app open, for example, the browser, and make sure that you customize the refresh rate from that app. We have to also comment on how you can read the screen during the night. The good news are that HiBreak provides you with two ways to adjust the brightness of the screen, is by increasing the day mode or the dark mode. This is how I like to call it. And you can adjust both of them at the same time. The day mode makes the screen look warmer, so it provides this more like yellowish color, while the night mode provides more of this white kind of color. And you can always adjust them both just to see how they behave and how the screen changes, or you can switch to the automatic view so it can detect the light conditions of your room and then provide you with the perfect screen adjustments just for you. You may wonder how many apps can you download and whether you can insert an external SD micro card. The answer is unfortunately no, you cannot expand the storage, but the good news is that HiBreak provides you with 256 gigabytes on the phone. Now, this is plenty of storage to download any apps you wish without having to worry about, and trust me, it's actually plenty because I'm using my iPhone 10 now and I take pictures all the time. And I rarely have to worry about my storage. So you can definitely fill it up with ebooks, download your favorite books, take photos, your favorite moments, and of course, download your favorite apps from the Google Play Store. Now, on top of that, it supports NFC and also GPS, although I would recommend you to use it as a GPS, but it can be great to track your location, especially if a third-party app that you downloaded requires it. And given that it supports dual SIM, it also supports 5G connectivity. Something that's very important that every single smartphone has and many mainstream companies have been competing for years to improve is, of course, the camera. Although the screen is black and white and you cannot see colors, it does come with a front-facing camera and a 20 megapixel rear-facing camera, which means you can capture your favorite moments, just a typical phone. And I do have some samples so you can just take a glance of what's the camera quality like. And at the same time, I'll also have a video recording just to see on different light conditions. So you see I'm outside of my garden filming around just to see what it looks like at the sun exposure, how it looks like filming around the sun or around the backyard. Of course, we cannot go away without mentioning the OCR technology that HiBreak has been developing, which means that you can use the camera to capture text on the physical paper and produce a PDF document out of it. And furthermore, it also provides you with live translation. I think this is probably my favorite feature or something that I really appreciate. The fact that it provides you for free the ability to transcribe your voice into text and also translate it into various languages. And also very importantly that to record meetings and then provide summaries as well as translation of calls in the desired language. I think it supports up to 32 languages, so most likely your local language will be there. Speaking of reading an ebook, the HiBreak Pro is the perfect phone to do that. The screen is neither very small, neither too big. With a 6.13-inch screen, it provides you with the best experience possible to have a portable e-reader on your pocket. And similarly with the predecessor, the HiBreak Color, it provides you with various ways where you can adjust your reading comfort. You can change the font, you can make it more bold, change the contrast, change the size, everything that you need to improve your comfort at reading. And speaking of that, it's powered with a 4,500 mAh of battery life, which is definitely long enough for minimalistic use, which means that you can expect to charge it at least a few times per week. Some various features that I found quite interesting is the ability to set up a fingerprint security on the phone. So that means you don't have to set the typical pattern lock screen. And lastly, and my favorite, is a ChatGPT-like Bigme GPT model that is built in within the phone. So to access it, you swipe from top right, and then you go through the settings, swipe on the right 2 times, and you should get it right there, together with the translation app as well. And you can ask it just anything you want, just like you do with ChatGPT. You do this with Bigme GPT, with the only difference is that it's built in specifically for the Bigme Pro and any other Bigme phones that you may have. And that's everything about the HiBreak Pro. Definitely big improvements since the predecessor, the HiBreak Color, and I'm certainly surprised with many of the features that were reviewed, especially the fact that it has a much better hardware with the octa-core CPU, 8GB of RAM, more storage, 256GB, much better camera, faster refresh rates, and of course, very importantly, the ability to auto-translate texts into more than 32 languages. Now, personally, if you ask me whether it's worth it, I will say yes. I'll definitely go on and buy it. It costs about $439, but Bigme does provide coupons now and then, so definitely look out for those so you can save off a little bit. I do believe, however, it's worth it, especially if you want to transform the way that you want to use your phone and only use it for minimalistic scenarios, just like calls or reading. And even if you do have to watch videos, then the HiBreak Pro does provide it by providing faster refresh rates. I think you're in a very good position to do that. And that's everything about this video. Now, if you like this video, don't forget to smash the like button right below. And don't forget to let me know what is your favorite feature that you saw from the Bigme HiBreak Pro. And which one you will need to try first. Just let me know. And of course, if you want to kill your friend's addiction, if they have a bad addiction with their phones, and you want to make their lives more productive, don't forget to hit the share button so you can make their day. Finally, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell right next to it in order to be the first one to watch our latest videos. Thanks for watching. As always, I'm going to see you to my next video.